Welcome back to this video of the video series on the topic of KNX security. In this video we take a look at KNX IP security in practice. Therefore, first of all, let us take a look at this example here. Here in this network we have two KNX twisted pair lines, one with a switching actuator and one with a push button sensor as well as a DMX gateway. Both of them are connected via KNX IP, via KNX IP Routers 752 Secure. So the two devices here in this case don't support secure, so the switching actuator and the push button sensor. However, the KNX IP routers do support secure. Let's take a look at what happens now when I press the push button. As you can see, a KNX telegram is being created, which is unsecure. We can see the value if we are connected to the twisted pair line. We can see the group address as well as the value. Then it gets to the KNX IP router. And because both KNX IP routers do support secure, the KNX IP router will convert this KNX twisted pair telegram into a KNX Net IP telegram, and it will also make it secure. It locks or encrypts this telegram here. So on the IP side, we are safe. The telegram is secured. So it is being sent to the second IP router. The second IP router is capable of unlocking this message and then send it unsecure to the switching actuator. So in this example here, we have achieved a lot of security just by using secure routers, like the Weinzierl 752 Secure KNX IP routers. Because oftentimes the network those routers are connected to also has a connection to the outside world, to the internet. And so therefore somebody could attack this network from the outside. And so in this case, if we use those KNX Net IP routers secure, the only part that is unsecure is the KNX twisted pair line. And there, first of all, somebody has to get physical access to this KNX twisted pair line. But let us take a look at the requirements for KNX Net IP security. Well, first of all, the KNX IP routers must support secure. Otherwise, security there just isn't possible. Then the project has to be password protected, as we saw with KNX data security, and the KNX secure keys have to be entered. So now that we know the requirements and how it works, let us take a look at an example. So I am back here in this example project here. And here in this project I have two twisted pair lines, one with the KNX twisted pair push button insert 420, which normally is secure, but in this case I have disabled the secure functionality to simulate an unsecure device. And in the twisted pair line we have an KNX switching actuator 510, which is unsecure. And I have also already created the function here, so switching the light in the kitchen with the left rocker of the push button sensor here. So now the only thing that is missing are the KNX IP routers. So therefore I will open up the catalog and then I will search for a Weinzierl here and for the 752 secure router. First of all into the first line, and now you can see that first of all I have to create a password for my project, which I will quickly do. And as you can see here, in my case here, I have created a weak password. So of course, in your case, you should create a strong password here. Clicking on OK. And then I should enter the device certificate, which I can either do by scanning the QR code on the device or the security card, or I can also manually enter this device certificate, which I will now quickly do. Now I can check if this device certificate is correct by checking it against the serial number and the factory key, which in this case is correct. So therefore I click here in OK, and then I will add the second KNX IP router. And here I also have again, first of all, import the device certificate. Again, I can check it against the serial number or factory key, click on OK, and with that I have added those KNX IP routers. And what you can also see now is that the IP area here is also secure which is displayed here by this secure icon, so this shield icon. And with that, I can now start to download those informations onto the devices, which I will quickly do off camera. So now that everything has finished, I will open up the diagnostics so that we can see what happens on the bus. So now I make sure that I am connected to my local network interface so that I can see what happens on the KNX IP side rather than using a KNX IP tunnel and see what happens on the KNX twisted pair side. So therefore I made sure that I'm connected to my Ethernet interface, click here on start, and now I will press the button on and now off, and as you can see we get the telegrams which are marked with this blue color, which means that secure is indeed used, and we can also see here the values. And we can see the values as it was like with the KNX Data Secure example, because we have still open the KNX network here. And due to this, the EDS knows the security keys and can show you the value of it. But what I want to show you is what this telegram looks like when you open up a network data logger, like for example Wireshark. So I will now turn on the light, wait a little bit, and now turn it off. And as you can see now here we have two KNX Net IP telegrams. You can see the source of it, which is one of our IP routers to the multicast address, as well as here below. And what you can see is that here we have the secure wrapper. And if I want to open up the secure wrapper, I might see a little bit of information, but here we can see that the data inside of it is encrypted. And the same counts here for this second telegram. If we wouldn't use this secure wrapper, we now could have seen what informations were sent via this KNX telegram. Another thing that is also achieved now with KNX Net IP Security is that the tunneling access via our router is also secured by a password, which I will show you with the EDS5, because the EDS5 doesn't know those two KNX IP routers and therefore it doesn't know the password of it. So I am here in the EDS5 and here you can see the interfaces. And here we have the two tunneling interfaces of our IP routers. And if I now want to use one of it, you can see that we get the information that this connection is secure and that I need the commissioning password. And now the question is, where do we find this commissioning password? Well, this password we can find within the KNX project. So here on the KNX IP router in our EDS6 project, if I go to properties and into IP, we can here find the commissioning password as well as the authentication code. Now I can simply copy the commissioning password, enter it here, and now I could theoretically directly connect to this tunneling address without using the authentication code. What this authentication code does is that it simply makes sure that I'm connected to the correct device. Because otherwise somebody could, for example, simulate a tunneling interface to get the commissioning password. So therefore I will also copy the authentication code inside here. And now if I click on OK, we should see that we can indeed connect to the tunneling interface. But in order to do that, we have to know the commissioning password. And so this is how easy you can enable security on your KNX IP side by simply using KNX IP routers with secure functionality like the Weinzierl KNX IP router 752 Secure. And as you saw, not only the communication itself is secured, but also the access via the tunneling interface is also secured.